Hi there and welcome. This is Igno van Niekerk, and in this short video tutorial I'm just going to show you something that you can do with the transform selection command in Photoshop. So I'm going to open up a file which was recently opened. It's a picture of my daughter, and she was very happy at the time, so I'm just going to quickly open that file. Now what I'd like to do, I'd like to focus somewhat on a smile and a happy face, and maybe this might be used as an advert or something for the cornfields or something. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the rectangular marquee tool sitting right over there and clicking on that, and I'm just going to make a selection around a head. Now if I want that selection on its own layer, I'd usually press Ctrl and J. But before I put it on its own layer, I would like to have a kind of snapshot effect. So I would like the layer to be a bit askew. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select, and I'm then going to go to transform selection, which gives the selection transform handles, which allows me to turn the selection around a bit and even move it a bit. And there I've got my selection. Maybe I'd like it over there, and I can just then click on the tick or press enter on my keyboard, and I've got my selection. Now I can go ahead and put this selection on its own layer by pressing Ctrl and J. What you'll see in the layers palette is that there are now two layers: the initial file, which is a background layer, and then layer 1. I'm going to click on layer 1 or control click if I would like to select it once again. And what I'm then going to do is to go into the layer effects, and with the layer effects I'm going to find the stroke. Especially with CS5, what we find is you can actually set your own default strokes, but I'm just now going to turn the color, make sure that color is the selection and select the color white as the color of the stroke and say OK. What will happen is you'll see that it will have, if I draw this little slide up, you'll see it have rounded corners. I don't want the rounded corners, so I'm going to select position to inside. And the moment I select inside, I'll have the square photographic corners. While I'm in this dialog box, I'm also going to select drop shadow, and I'm going to select the drop shadow around the stroke. So you'll see there is a bit of a drop shadow, or not around the stroke, around the selection. If I would like to draw the drop shadow around a bit, I can actually click on the picture, and you'll see it comes out on the right hand side. I'm just going to make sure it's a very small drop shadow that just comes out at the back of the picture. I'm just going to move this away so we can see it's over there, and then I'm going to say OK. After saying OK, one of the best keyboard shortcuts I've ever learned in Photoshop is Ctrl and D to deselect, and there I've got my picture. What I can now do, I can go and alter the background, and this will look as if it's a bit of a Polaroid picture sitting in front of the background. So what I can do with the background, I'm just going to select an adjustment layer to make it as non-destructive as possible, select the use saturation adjustment layer, and should I then go ahead and just take the saturation away, I'll have something like this. I can pull the lightness up, and maybe I'll then be able to put some text over here or in the left hand side or wherever I would like to. I could also colorize it a bit and then have different effects as I draw the hue slider around. I might have different hues depending on what I'd like to do with this picture, whether I'd like to use it in a magazine with a specific font or a specific logo. I'm just going to untick the colorize, leave it black and white, maybe lift the lightness a bit, and then I'm actually going to go onto the background layer, and I could make a copy if I want to, but for the moment let's be destructive, which is a very scary thing to be. I'm going to select blur, and I'm going to select a bit of motion blur, and then you'll see it blurs the background a bit, which will focus you on the text should you want to add some text over here. So the easiest thing would be to press on the T key, and then maybe over there, and I'll just put the text layer above all the other layers first of all, then double click to just get hold of that text layer once again, and then just type smile or whatever smile, smile, and with smile I might select, let's say for the moment, just white text, and I say OK, and I select the tick, and I can then press the V key to move it wherever I'd like to. I'm just gonna take away the layers and take away the adjustment layers, and there you'll see what we've done. So quite a lot of nice things can be done with this. Go ahead and play around, but the main thing is to be able to transform your selection. Have fun.